Your life begins in a humble and fragile way, small and hidden in the dark waters of Xochimilco, Mexico. The place you were born is a maze of canals, ancient and murky, where Mexico City stands nearby, but is sort of irrelevant to you because you remain in your little aquatic world. The world around you is changing though, and you've yet to understand just how much your life will reflect that change. Stage 1. Birth. Your journey starts as an egg, tiny, barely visible, and stuck to a submerged plant. Your mother, after some time, has laid dozens of eggs, about 200 to 500 in a single batch, all of which float delicately in the water. The surrounding waters are far from peaceful, and before you hatch, your tiny world is already filled with dangers. When you first emerge from your egg, you're not alone. The other tiny axolotls in your batch are your siblings, and though you are all genetically similar, there's little sense of kinship. In fact, it's survival of the fittest from the start. The moment you're out, your brothers and sisters are eager to feast on you if they can. Cannibalism is common in axolotl communities, and the water is filled with the twitching bodies of those who didn't get out fast enough. You quickly learn that to live, you must be fast and clever. You have poor eyesight as a newborn though. Unlike many creatures who can see clearly, you can only make out blurry shapes. Nothing is in focus, and the world is a confusing mess of shadows. Your hearing is also almost non-existent. Sound is just vibrations in the water. But you have a unique advantage. Your other senses are highly tuned. You can detect chemical cues, tiny scents in the water, which guide you toward food, away from danger, and help you navigate the world. Stage 2. Childhood. As you continue to grow, one thing becomes apparent. You never truly grow up. Unlike most animals that undergo dramatic transformations as they age, you exhibit a strange trait known as neoteny. You stay in your juvenile form throughout your life. You don't develop the features of adulthood as most creatures do. You keep your soft, feathery gills that flutter as you breathe, and your tail remains long and slender, perfect for swimming. In fact, you will live your whole life as a juvenile, a form that allows you to stay close to the water, never fully developing into a land-dwelling creature, as you would if you were an amphibian that underwent metamorphosis. This isn't a defect though, it's just who you are. Your body is designed to stay in this constant, delicate balance between water and air. You still have to fight for your survival. The food you hunt comes in many forms, but the hardest part is the constant battle against other predators and even your own species. Yes, you heard that right. Even though you're at the age where you finally grow and develop your limbs, cannibalism for axolotls doesn't stop when they're young. It continues on forever. Unfortunately, this includes your brother Benny. It's a dog-eat-dog world, or rather, an axolotl-eat-axolotl world, and you either eat the limbs of your brothers and sisters, or have your limbs eaten off by them. Yes. I don't think you heard me clearly. Eat your brother's limbs right now. It's gotta hurt. Well, I told you so. Axolotls are solitary animals. They like to survive alone, lone wolf style, and your brother is definitely not the exception. He's a certified crash out. You should probably run. Oh, don't be upset. They'll grow back. Strange, right? As an axolotl, you're a bit of an oddity. When you're hurt, injured, or damaged, you can regrow entire limbs and even parts of your heart, jaw, tail, and spinal cord without scarring. Anyways, when it comes to other forms of prey, you'll find that you're an opportunistic hunter. You spend your days scavenging the water for worms, insects, and small fish. Your lateral line, a series of sensory organs along your head and body, helps you sense movements in the water, sort of like a submarine radar. The slightest ripple tells you whether a predator is coming or if there's food nearby. It's how you survive in a world filled with danger. Stage 3. Teenhood. At the ripe age of 3 months old, you've finally become a teen. However, as you've grown, you begin to see the more dangerous realities of your world. You start coughing. You've noticed that the lake around you, once a serene place for you to thrive, is now tainted. pollution fills the water, and your home becomes a dumping ground for wastewater and chemicals. The clear, fresh water that once fed the ecosystem is now clouded with toxins, and the smell of chlorine suffocates the delicate balance. This isn't your fault, nor is it nature's. The rapid urbanization of Mexico City and the poor waste management that has come along with it is to blame, and that's not your only concern. People have also introduced invasive species like carp and tilapia into your lake in the 70s and 80s, aiming to create a cheap and abundant food source for their local residents. Instead of coexisting with you, the carp and tilapia now compete with you for limited resources in the polluted environment, further destabilizing your habitat. Those aren't the only predators you have to worry about either. Herons and storks swoop down from above, their sharp beaks snatching you from the water in an instant. Carp and tilapia continue to steal your food and resources while you, as well as other axolotls, are picked apart. But what's this? It's your brother Benny. He's back. He looks like he's been through a lot. But strangely enough, his attention isn't focused on you. He seems to be occupied with the predators surrounding you guys. While he's making a distraction, you should find a place to hide since fighting isn't really your strong suit. Huh. Weird. Axolotls generally don't care about protecting each other. Mothers don't even care to protect their own eggs, and if hungry enough, they'll even eat their own babies. Maybe your brother has turned a leaf and is trying to right his wrongs since he's been a psychopath his whole life. Either that or he has a brain defect? I don't know. Run! A white shiny silhouette reaches for your sibling from above. It's a hand in a glove. Even humans come for you. But on the bright side, it's often not with malice, but for research, because they believe you hold the secrets to the ultimate art of healing. Researchers and medical scientists have studied your regenerative powers for more than 200 years, hoping to unlock the secret of regeneration to cure human ailments. A lot of scientists actually do a wonderful job in taking care of and preserving axolotls while researching them, so we've got to give them credit. Huh. Maybe I shouldn't have told you to run from them. Sorry. The wild is dangerous, and not only is it unsafe, but you're the biggest target for every hazard. Essentially, you and your siblings are fighting a losing war, and you're definitely not winning. But Mother never raised a bit. Well, actually, she never raised you at all. But still, you're an axolotl, and regardless of the circumstances you're faced with, you will keep moving forward, because that's what axolotls do. They survive. Adulthood. Your once vibrant pink skin and flowing feathers have faded into a husk of what they formerly were. Your brothers are dead. Your sisters are missing. Your friends have bitten the dust. But you're different. It's been a long year, but you've finally reached adulthood. Despite all the threats, you've somehow survived, and you've become what the Aztecs in their time used to believe was a god. You're still part of an endangered species, and at this point, there are only 50 to 1,000 of you left in the wild. You think back to Benny, your older brother. You wonder whether or not he's still alive after he got picked up by that mysterious glowing hand that came out of the sky. Even though he would always try to eat you alive whenever he got the chance, you can't help but feel sad. In a way, you somewhat miss the dark, scary, dragon-looking fella. And, come to think of it, he actually really did look like Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, your favorite movie as a child. It's almost like Toothless was inspired by axolotls. Nonetheless, you really don't have time to daydream. In this crowded, polluted water, you continue to fend off the predators that constantly threaten your life. And all of these overlooming threats now stand before you. You're tired of running, you're tired of hiding, and your body isn't what it used to be. You feel the weight of time wear down your skin and regenerative abilities. Is the final stand. And it's time for you to do your best to embrace your survival instincts to fight to survive. The battle is over. You ended up winning. If you could even really consider this as a victory. You drift off into your polluted waters. However, one day, a shadow looms over you. Is it a predator or a human? You can't say for sure, but you no longer have the energy nor strength to evade or fight. You reflect on your existence. You've lived a long life and fought through more than many other creatures could endure. Perhaps you'll be one of the last to pass away from the wild, or perhaps your survival won't be in vain. You can only hope that the approaching shadow is a human. Nonetheless, one thing is for sure, your journey ends here. There will be another time. You were part of something great. Your legacy lives on, and you've taught the world more than they ever expected about resilience, survival, and the fragility of life itself. Your species may be endangered, but you are far from forgotten.